Welcome to Risky Bitness. Everyone loves Sunset Riders, right? What if I told you that there is a game that is exactly like Sunset Riders, but with ninjas? That's right, ninjas. You know them, you love them. Those sneaky, pajama-clad assassins of feudal Japan who may be nothing more than a Hollywood legend, have their own shuriken-slinging arcade adventure just like everyone's favorite rootin'-tootin' cowboy-shootin' cabinet. As popular as Sunset Riders is, Mystic Warriors is obviously better because ninjas. Now that we've established that very important fact, let's get down to bitness. Released in 1993 by Konami, Mystic Warriors uses Konami's Mystic Warriors-based hardware configuration, which would later be used in other Konami titles. Like most arcades of the time, it featured a Motorola 68K processor, a Z80 sound chip, and a 288x224 CRT display with support for 2048 colors. There are both 2-player and 4-player cabinets available. Mystic Warriors takes place in New York in the future, you know, where ninjas come from. An evil organization called Skull Enterprise is plotting to take over the world, and only ninjas can stop them. A simple enough plot and very 90s. The evil organization that makes absolutely no qualms about being so obvious and on the nose by naming themselves Skull is as 90s as Snick and Dunkaroos. There's a bit more story here than what is typical of a 90s arcade shooter. When you start the game, regardless of the number of players, one of the 5 playable characters, chosen at random, is kidnapped by Skull. The rest of the team attempt to rescue that character who is unplayable for the remainder of the game. Eventually, the kidnapped hero sacrifices himself to save his allies, who finally confront the boss of Skull and presumably save the world. The similarity to Sunset Riders is very evident in the graphics, and this almost looks like a reskin. There's a lot of color, the animation's really smooth, a lot of pastel colors, very lush kind of purples and blues and things like that. The sprites are large and have a relatively high level of detail among 16-bit games. There are tons of flashy visual effects to keep things exciting. All the graphics look very smooth, almost like an animation filter. Character and enemy designs are really wild, with lots of mechanical and robotic enemies fueling the post-apocalyptic mayhem. The Z80 sound chip that powered the audio for most arcade games is doing what it does here. The music is pretty middle of the line, but what impresses me about this cabinet is just how good the voice samples really sound. You can actually understand what they're saying. This sort of run-and-gun arcade shooter is definitely inspired by classics like Rolling Thunder and Shinobi, and includes the tried-and-true formula of running left and right shooting bad guys for 9 short action-packed levels, but adds some fun twists to keep the action interesting. There are some environmental hazards that can be used to defeat enemies, and some stages have unique twists like the ski level. You can use both projectiles like kunai and shuriken, and melee attacks to defeat enemies, and your ammo is unlimited. Your projectiles can be upgraded by finding power-ups, hidden in crates that are either carried by enemies or scattered throughout the level. Each playable character has a different upgrade path for the projectiles. Some have a wider spread, while others are faster or fly at different angles. The melee weapons also differ in speed and range. As you run through the levels, you can often switch tiers and even climb walls because, duh, ninjas. Of course, being a ninja means your health is restored by eating Japanese food like sushi or tempura. The cast of characters includes all the different kinds of ninjas. There's Spyros, the Greek ninja, Keima, the Kabuki ninja, Kujiro, the samurai ninja, Brad, the monk ninja, and Yuri, the warrior priestess thong ninja. Because in the 90s, you can't put a girl character in a video game without some sophomoric titillation. Unlike many similar shooters, your character can sustain up to 4 hits before losing a life, and as the game progresses, you'll be pumping in more and more quarters. Sometimes crates will be dropped in by air, so you can get power-ups while fighting bosses, which is a really nice touch for this kind of arcade action game. Nothing sucks more than fighting bosses with no power-ups. When you finish the game, you start over from stage 1, but the difficulty is increased. You gotta keep those quarters coming. Mystic Warriors is a thief in the night who has come for your quarters, but ninja power is on your side. If you have never played this one, I definitely recommend it. It's a fun, fast-paced, action-packed game with ninjas. Thanks for watching, and now I am asking for your help. At the time of my making this video, the YouTube algorithm thinks nobody wants to see these videos. Please prove it wrong. If you like, subscribe, and leave a comment, the algorithm will push this video to more recommendations, meaning more views from my channel. Thanks once again, and until next time, game over.